Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's tutorial. In this video we are going to design website footer from scratch using HTML CSS. In our design we have 4 columns. First column we have a logo, text and 3 different social media icons, and we have a first column company animated with different links, about us and contact, and at the bottom we have copyright. And this page is fully responsive on different sides of the screen. To follow along, prepare your text editor and get started. In my folder I have HTML, logo and CSS. This universal selector remove default padding and margin for all elements and ensure that padding and border are included in the element's total width and height. Now let's add our content to the HTML structure, starting by main content h1. I want to add some text. In the footer, create class container, which we are going to write all our content inside this class. And this span blur, we are going to style it later. To add some animation, add a class column, and inside the column class, add class logo, and add our logo here, which is type image, and we have a source which is QcodeWave. Add paragraph here below the logo. I want to add like 20 words of lorem ipsum. Class for social media icon. Now you can add your social media icon manually or just copy paste. Here I want to add for YouTube, the first one, and the second icon is Facebook or Meta. And the last icon is Instagram. Now let's add the 3 columns, and for that each to have heading, which is h4. Let's call it company. Now we need to add 3 links for each. And let's add the content here. We have a business. Now at the bottom here, let's add copyright. Now we add all our contents. Now let's go to CSS in order to design our page. Now let's start by transforming the body first, and on the body I want to set font family into Arial, Helvetica sans serif. Add background color, this color code EEF8FF. Min height, ensure the body takes at least the full viewport, and for that I make 100 viewport. And I want to use flexible to arrange child element, and for that is a display flex, and flex direction to be column. Now let's move into main, and in the main allow the main content to grow and fill available space, pushing the footer at the bottom. So for that we can make a flex 1. As we choose 1, it is automatically push the footer section at the bottom and make a space here in the main content. And now let's go to footer in order to design the full section, and add background color to be dark gray, and for that I choose color code 22. So we choose border top left radius to be 140 pixel. Use CSS grid to lay out the footer, and for that we say display grid. Grid template columns. For grid template columns I want to use flexible and responsive layout, and I choose 350 pixel. This define the width of the first column, which will always be 350 pixel. To add repeat, and this repeat I want to include auto fit function, which help to be automatically responsive, and for that I add auto fit. This keyword means that the grid will automatically fit as many columns as possible into the available space. And add min max. And min max, this function defines the minimum and maximum size of repeated columns, and I want 200 pixels by 1 fraction each. Add gap to be 1 rem to make a space between each column. Position to be relative. Now let's change color for the paragraph, for the links, and for the H4 to be seen here. Let's color to be white. Now let's go to footer column. For the footer column here, just add padding to make a space. Add 1 rem. For the footer, let's start by the logo. And for the logo, I want to be mean width 150 pixels. Add margin bottom to be 1 rem as well. Now let's go to paragraph. And for the paragraph, add gray color. Add a space on the bottom, so say margin bottom to be 1.2 rem. Add the font size 1.2 rem, and text align to be start. Now let's style the blur. We have footer, the class name is blur, and for this I want position to be absolute. Add box shadow to be 60 pixel horizontal offset. Positive value move the shadow to the right, and 0 vertical offset. A value offset means that the shadow neither shifted nor down. And add 1000 pixel the blur radius. The larger this value, the more blurry the shadow will be. And 100 pixel, this is spread radius. A positive value will cause the shadow to be expand, the grow larger. A negative value will make it shrink. And choose the color to be 00BF, you know, the same color as the logo. Now to make this slightly back, make it Z index to be -10 to be behind the content, and add left 0, transform to translate y-axis -50%. This add 1000, it's more blurry. Now let's design the social media icon. For that we call it .social. Social media display flexible layout and display flex. Align item to be center and add gap between each 1 rem. Now for the links, add border around each social media icon, 2 pixel solid, the color to be C. Add padding 5 pixel, top and bottom 10 pixel, right and left. Font size to be 1.6 rem. Add border radius to be 100%. To be rounded, text decoration to be none, and add transition to be all 0.3 second to be ease. Now let's add hover effect on the social media icon. Hover and color to be dark gray 222, and background color to be color of the logo. Let's go to footer column H4. I want to have different color to be orange, margin bottom to be 1 rem, make a space, and font size to be 1.5 rem, position to be relative. Now for the H4 I want to add pseudo element, and this pseudo element property is required the after pseudo element to be rendered. It creates a blank content, a string that allows pseudo element to exist in the document. So make a content to be blank, height to be 3 pixel, position to be absolute, width to be 0, and bottom to be 0 as well, and left to be 0. Now add background color to be color code 00FEFFF, and add transition to transition all 0.3 second to be ease. In order to this pseudo element after to effect on the company, about us, and contact, we need to add hover effect to H4 and apply width to the hover. The width here at 50%. Now if you hover, you see the line automatically run when you highlight it. Now let's go to footer column arrow, and this is for the links below each column. Let's display blog and color to be gray, UCC, and add margin bottom to make a space. to be 0.5 rem. To remove the underline, make text decoration to be none, and add transition as well to be all 0.3 second. Is to add hover effect on the links, add hover, add color to be color of the logo, and now when you highlight it you have hover effect. Dot copyright, add background color to be 2, the same as the footer color, and color of the text to be white. Add padding to be 1 rem, font size to be 1.3 rem, to centralize it, text align center. And let's centralize the text on the main content as well. Let's add text align center and align content to be center as well vertically. Let's add font size to be 3 rem. Let's add uppercase text transform to be uppercase. Let's add media query property in order to make it responsive. Start by media, and here add the size of a screen, and I want 600 pixel for the first. Footer.column, and for the logo first, max width to be 100 pixel on the smaller screen, and footer itself to have 1 fraction of grid column. And copy this and change the size of screen here, make it 400. Now let's change the size of main text, main font size to be 1 rem on a smaller screen, and just copy this and paste it below as well. Now as you see, it is automatically come up to 1 fraction as we assign to it. That is all for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumb up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel. Until next, happy coding.